Hello, YouTubers. So, just want to give you a little bit of a update on the B-17 project. So, as you can see, I've made a little bit of progress to it. I've got the decals added. The Kit World decals have worked really well. Very, very pleased with them. Very, very pleased. Even the ones that it came with were pretty good. And you can see the A and the numbers on there. Went on really well. Very, very pleased with them. Not a whole lot of decals, thank goodness, on this. Otherwise, it would have gone crazy. When it comes down to, as we talked about the story of this beast, is it's very much a piecework aircraft. There's 13 different composites coming from different birds to basically Frankenstein this thing together. And so one thing I wanted to recreate a bit is this portion. So that came into a couple of different steps. So I did some chipping, and so got the olive drab tripping off. And then I also made my own stencil because I didn't want to wait, and paint on there. So I can kind of have that subdued, dull, it's definitely have some years on it type of insignia. So I did that. Sure how I feel about the chipping on it. I think it does pretty well. I've got a few pictures that I was looking for reference. Definitely not perfect, but I think it captures the story at least. On the other side, so we got the neutral gray. And with that, I did a little different technique. I use more of sandpaper to actually get more of an abrasion, getting scratches and things of that kind of nature on there. So I've got that. When it comes down to the decal on here, worked pretty well, laid down pretty well. Was tempted to do some more masking, but it took a decent amount of work to get the masking on this and get it all proper. So that is the story beyond there. Beyond that, so I've added into the weathering on the wings, and I've let it dry a bit, and I'm probably going to need to do a little more to it because it's kind of looking like more of a streak when it should have a little more of a stippled look. So I'll probably do a little bit more with an actual brush and make it more subdued. Luckily with this, I've got the Absolune or whatever brand, and it takes a very long time for them to set up. So I should still have plenty more time to play with them, do a few things on it, because I want it to be a little bit more like this, where not quite airbrushed look, but definitely just accumulated grime coming off of the engines. So I'm in progress with that. Gonna do a little bit more there. I've got that same effect if we flip her upside down. So I've got the streaks going on there, and I think they worked out pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with them. So I've got that. Yeah, so one thing that I'm pretty proud of, I think the superchargers actually turned out really, really well. Looked at a lot of pictures, and luckily I was able to practice on the P38 to get their look in there. And so I think the superchargers turned out quite well. So pretty pleased overall there. Just get around. Beyond that, I have taken away some of my masks so I can kind of get into, yet again, what it's going to look like on the showroom, to be able to look inside there. And I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of just lights everywhere, because it definitely needs some lighting in there. Probably would have been tempted, but I don't know if it would have been accurate to actually include some lighting in there. Put some LEDs. So we've got that. Another thing that I have been playing with that I'm probably going to dull down a little bit is on the horizontal stabilizers, you can see kind of a patchwork effect. So what I did, it was gloss, and then I used these Ushi Van der Rosen templates to spray on the dull coat, so it's only in portions. So it looks pretty good, but I think I want to tone it down a little bit, and I'm going to just back that off a little bit with some extra flat coat and do that. I have to put on the machine gun barrels and take off the rest of the masks and a few things like the ball gun turret, have that attached. But it is getting pretty close, which I'm glad. Taking up a lot of space, either this whole area or the whole kitchen counter or kitchen table. So wife will appreciate that too. Like I said, with the, well, I can show you. So I'm glad that I did do the cutaway, because I didn't do a really good job of cleaning the glass before I attached it. So luckily I was able to put in like a cotton swab and brush with alcohol and get them cleaned up a little bit better. Because otherwise they were pretty nasty with fingerprints and stuff. I should have thought that through a little bit better. So eventually we'll get you some better view of what you can see inside there. Also noticed a little bit too late, but on the nose there's some metallic. After looking at research, found out, well, that's actually just more plexi. There's no metal frame to it. It's just extra plexi and like epoxy to kind of seal it in. So I actually didn't need the Eduard mask for there, because in the real world there is no like metal frame right there. There's probably a few of the non-natural metal finish that probably have an olive drab painted over it, but nonetheless, from the pictures I saw, they didn't have that. So yeah, getting really, really close. I think the next update is actually going to show you the completed build. But beyond that, a few things might need to do on the nacelles. I think they look pretty good, showing some oil streaks, but might need to clean them up a little bit to make them look more streaky, dare I say. And a few more things on the props that I had to work on to get them a little bit more cleaned up with the yellow, to get them chipped proper. But it is coming close. I'm tempted. I'm set up to go to nationals, but I don't know. Really tempted to bring this bird, but I'm really afraid to either ship it, or technically, in theory, I can rip these wings off, and it'd be packaged easier, but scares the heck out of me. So we'll see if I do that and bring it. Otherwise, I'll probably just not chance it and say, leave it at home. Probably not a prize winner anyway. So, c'est la vie. But otherwise, I'll give you guys an update to the finished product as soon as we have that available, which should be very soon. Until then, like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments.